Tensions in the Persian Gulf rarely explode without warning. They build, test by test, signal by signal. This time, it was drones. According to regional defense monitoring reports, Iranian unmanned aerial vehicles conducted surveillance maneuvers near a U.S. carrier strike group operating in the Persian Gulf. Military analysts describe such encounters as probing actions, calculated tests designed to measure response times, radar coverage, and electronic countermeasures. A U.S. carrier group is not just a warship. It is a floating fortress surrounded by guided missile destroyers, cruisers, submarines, and layered air defenses. When foreign UAVs approach that perimeter, even briefly, every sensor activates, every protocol tightens. So what happened next? Did the drones retreat? Were they intercepted? Or was the encounter part of a broader strategic message being sent across one of the world's most volatile waterways? Tonight, we break down what carrier strike groups are designed to do, how drone testing works in military doctrine, why the Persian Gulf remains one of the most sensitive flashpoints on Earth, and how these silent aerial encounters can escalate or de-escalate in seconds. Because in modern warfare, the first move is rarely a missile, it's a signal. A U.S. carrier strike group is one of the most heavily defended military formations in the world. Centered around a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, it includes guided missile destroyers, cruisers, and often a fast-attack submarine operating beneath the surface. Together, they create layered air, sea, and electronic defense zones, extending miles beyond the carrier itself. In the Persian Gulf, such deployments are strategic signals. The region sits at the crossroads of global energy supply routes and long-standing geopolitical rivalries. Any movement by U.S. naval assets there is monitored not just by Iran, but by regional actors and global powers alike. Carrier groups operate with strict engagement protocols. Surveillance aircraft, radar systems, and electronic warfare units track incoming objects continuously. When drones approach, the response isn't necessarily kinetic. It often begins with monitoring, identification, and communication warnings. Encounters between Iranian UAVs and U.S. naval forces have occurred in the past, typically framed as intelligence gathering or deterrence signaling, rather than open conflict. In modern military doctrine, probing is rarely accidental. It is deliberate, calculated, and measured. When unmanned aerial vehicles approach a carrier strike group, they are often performing reconnaissance rather than preparing for immediate attack. These UAVs may operate at varying altitudes and speeds to test radar detection thresholds, response timelines, and communication patterns. Military analysts explain that probing serves multiple purposes. First, it gathers intelligence, mapping radar signatures, identifying escort ship formations, and measuring how quickly intercept protocols activate. Second, it sends a signal. A drone flight near a carrier is a reminder that the ship's presence is being watched. It reinforces deterrence narratives on both sides without crossing into open conflict. Iran has invested heavily in drone capabilities over the past decade, developing surveillance UAVs and loitering munitions suited for maritime environments. In tight waterways like the Persian Gulf, where distances are short and reaction windows narrow, drones provide relatively low-cost means of monitoring high-value targets. For U.S. forces, the challenge is balance. React too aggressively and the encounter escalates. React too passively and adversaries gain confidence. The response must be calibrated, assertive, but controlled.
Carrier strike groups rely on far more than missiles to defend themselves. Modern naval defense is layered with electronic warfare systems designed to disrupt, jam, or confuse incoming threats before physical interception becomes necessary. When UAVs approach, detection systems activate across multiple platforms: shipboard radar, airborne early warning aircraft, and integrated combat information centers. If a drone crosses designated thresholds, commanders may employ electronic countermeasures to interfere with its control signals or GPS guidance. In recent years, the U.S. Navy has expanded counter-drone capabilities, recognizing the growing prevalence of unmanned threats worldwide. These defenses are designed not only to shoot down drones, but to neutralize them without kinetic engagement whenever possible. Non-lethal disruption reduces escalation risk while maintaining defensive posture. Electronic warfare is often invisible to the public. There are no dramatic explosions, only signal interference and forced retreats. Yet these unseen exchanges represent a sophisticated battlefield playing out in electromagnetic space.
Encounters like these rarely occur in isolation. They unfold within broader diplomatic and military tensions between Tehran and Washington. Each side communicates through calibrated actions, naval movements, air patrols, exercises, and drone flights. For Iran, deploying UAVs near U.S. vessels demonstrates capability and resolve. It signals domestic audiences that sovereignty is being defended, and international observers that American forces operate under constant surveillance. For the United States, maintaining a steady presence reinforces commitments to regional allies and freedom of navigation in critical shipping lanes. The Persian Gulf has long been a theater of signaling, where maneuvers serve as messages. Neither side typically seeks direct confrontation, but both aim to shape perception. Small actions can carry disproportionate weight, especially when media narratives amplify them. These interactions form a strategic chessboard. Every movement is evaluated not only for tactical outcome, but for political meaning.
The greatest danger in drone encounters lies not in the UAV itself, but in miscalculation. A technical malfunction, misidentified maneuver, or split-second decision can transform a probing action into a crisis. In confined waterways, escalation timelines shrink dramatically. History shows that naval confrontations in the Gulf often cool after controlled responses. Both sides understand the consequences of direct conflict, yet the frequency of unmanned surveillance increases the number of touch points, and therefore the number of opportunities for misunderstanding. For now, such encounters remain part of a tense but managed rivalry. Drones circle, radar locks, electronic systems hum quietly, and both sides step back, at least for the moment. But as drone technology evolves and geopolitical stakes remain high, each new test carries strategic significance. In the Persian Gulf, signals matter, presence matters, and restraint may matter most of all.